You've seen the ads. They're everywhere. On your social media, before YouTube videos, probably even in your dreams. A drone for $7, a set of kitchen knives for $4, a smartwatch for the price of a coffee. It's the online store called Temu. An explosion of bright orange and prices so low, they seem impossible. And yet, it has become the single most downloaded app in America, beating out giants like TikTok, Instagram, and Amazon. It's captured a huge slice of the e-commerce market in record time, leaving legacy brands wondering what hit them. It feels like a paradox. How can a company sell products for less than the cost of shipping and not go bankrupt? How did they appear from nowhere and conquer the US market overnight? Well, the truth is, the price tag you see is not the full story. Today, we're peeling back the orange curtain to reveal Temu's secret. It's a brilliant, aggressive, and controversial strategy that involves a legal loophole older than the internet, billions of dollars being set on fire, and a serious question about the data on your phone. This isn't just about cheap stuff. This is the story of how a Chinese tech giant is rewriting the rules of American retail. The first and biggest piece of the puzzle is a legal loophole that gives Temu a massive, almost unfair advantage. It's a tiny bit of text in US trade law called the de minimis rule. And to understand it, let's imagine you're a traditional American retailer, like the Gap or Target. You want to sell t-shirts. You have to order them from a factory overseas, maybe in Vietnam or China. You order a huge container with thousands of shirts. It arrives at a US port, and you have to pay import taxes and tariffs on that entire shipment before it ever reaches your warehouses. That cost gets passed on to you at the checkout. Now, let's look at how Temu does it. The de minimis rule, which comes from a law passed way back in 1930, says that any package valued under $800 can enter the US completely free of any tariffs or taxes. It was originally meant for tourists bringing back souvenirs. But Temu and its competitor, Shein, have turned it into the engine of their business model. When you buy that $7 drone on Temu, it doesn't come from a US warehouse. It's shipped directly to you from a factory or warehouse in China. Because your individual package is worth way less than $800, it flies right into the country, no tariffs paid. Think about that. While American companies are paying taxes on huge bulk shipments, Temu is sending millions of tiny packages that get a tax-free pass. This creates a tsunami of small parcels flooding US customs, over 2 million packages a day, most of which receive far less scrutiny than bulk cargo. For a small American online boutique, competing on price becomes mathematically impossible. According to a US government report, Temu and Shein are likely the biggest users of this loophole, accounting for over 30% of all de minimis shipments into the United States. It's a brilliant strategy. They've essentially turned the entire internet into one giant, tax-free airport shop that delivers right to your door. And it's the #1 reason their prices are so impossibly low. Okay, so they save a ton on taxes, but even with that, the math still doesn't make sense. The products, the shipping, the endless ads, they have to be losing money, right? The answer is yes, a lot of money, and it's completely on purpose. This is the second part of their secret. Temu is a money-burning machine, designed to capture the market at any cost. Temu is not some small, scrappy startup. It's the international arm of a Chinese tech titan called PDD Holdings. PDD runs one of China's biggest e-commerce platforms, Pinduoduo, and they are incredibly profitable. We are talking about a company with a market capitalization in the hundreds of billions of dollars. They have nearly unlimited cash to fuel Temu's growth. They are using the billions they make in China to fund Temu's conquest of America. According to reports, Temu is losing an average of $30 on every single order it ships. They are projected to spend over $3 billion on marketing this year alone. That's why you can't escape their ads. For them, this isn't a loss. It's a customer acquisition cost. It's cheaper to buy a customer with a heavily subsidized product than it is to build a brand over decades. This is a classic Silicon Valley playbook called blitzscaling, but on a global scale. It's what Uber did with taxi rides. Lose tons of money up front to offer an unbelievably cheap price, drive all your competitors out of business, become the only option left. Then, once you own the market, you can start raising prices. They are not trying to make a profit from you today. They are trying to buy you, the customer. They want to become so dominant, so ingrained in your shopping habits, that in a few years, you won't even think of going anywhere else. Every dollar they lose is an investment in destroying their competition. But the financial strategy of burning cash to dominate the market has another, more tangible consequence. It fuels a culture of hyper-consumerism with a massive environmental cost. This business model, often called ultra-fast fashion in the case of clothing, relies on producing an immense volume of extremely low-quality goods. These aren't items you buy to last for years. They're designed to be virtually disposable. The environmental impact is staggering. Think of the carbon emissions from flying millions of individual packages by air instead of by sea. Think of the water and toxic chemical dyes used to produce a t-shirt that might be worn only once or twice before it's thrown away. Furthermore, the pressure to produce items this quickly and cheaply has repeatedly raised ethical questions about labor practices. While Temu itself is a marketplace, its model is similar to Shein, which has faced numerous allegations regarding low wages and poor working conditions for garment factory workers. It's a system that prioritizes speed and low cost above all else, pushing the environmental and human costs into the shadows. So, another hidden price tag on that $5 t-shirt is its devastating impact on the planet and the potential exploitation in its supply chain. It's a cost we don't see at the checkout, but one that we all end up paying. So, they have a tax loophole and a multi-billion-dollar war chest. But there's a third, more controversial piece to this puzzle. What else are they getting from you? This is where we talk about data. The US government is paying close attention. A recent report from the US-China Economic and Security Review Commission flagged Temu for potential risks to user data. Why? Well, look at Temu's sister app in China, Pinduoduo. In early 2023, Pinduoduo was kicked off the Google Play Store after security researchers found malware in some versions of the app. Cybersecurity experts called it some of the most advanced and evasive malware they had ever seen, specifically designed to avoid detection. The malware was capable of doing some scary stuff, bypassing user security, accessing private messages, and changing settings without permission. Now, to be clear, this malware has not been found in the Temu app. But the fact that the parent company, PDD, was behind an app with such aggressive data stealing capabilities has raised serious red flags for security experts. When you use the Temu app, you are giving it permission to access your camera, your microphone, your location, your contacts, and your social media information. With this data, a company can build a frighteningly detailed profile of your life: who you know, where you go, what you talk about, and what you're likely to buy next. All for a $4 knife set. The government report puts it bluntly, stating there's an extreme risk that China's government could force Temu to hand over any data it collects, given their national security laws. So the question you have to ask yourself is your data the real product being sold? In a business model where they lose money on every physical item, are they making up for it with the digital you? So there you have it. The secret to Temu's incredible rise. It's a three-legged stool. First, a century-old tax loophole that lets them dodge costs that every American retailer has to pay. Second, a parent company with billions of dollars to burn, intentionally losing money on every order to drive out all competition. And third, a big unanswered question about how they use the vast amount of data they collect from your phone. Temu is a phenomenon. It's a masterclass in aggressive 21st century global capitalism. So the next time that bright orange ad for a 99-cent gadget pops up on your screen, you'll know the secret behind it. It's not just a cheap product. It's a calculated move in a global game for your wallet, your data, and the future of how we all shop.